microcontroller, I can define microcontroller as an integrated circuit, right? The simple definition of microcontroller, I can define it as a integrated circuit which consists of huge number of operations to be performed on it. That is integrated. That is integration of some circuits there. Like I told, the definition of microcontroller is an integrated circuit which is basically designed to perform some specific operation in an embedded system. So that is the definition of microcontroller. Am I correct? Or if there are any corrections in the definitions, anyone can tell. A microcontroller is an integrated circuit which is basically designed to perform some specific operations in some system. What is the system called? Embedded system. Now, the next question arises in the definition. What is an embedded system? Right? According to the definition, if I want to define embedded system, I can tell embedded system is a microprocessor based computer hardware system. Embedded system is nothing but it is basically related to the hardware part, which is actually linked with the software, which is designed to perform that desired functionality. It might be dependent on some part or independent of its own. So I can call these are the functionalities which will be defining the microcontroller. Can someone give an example, like lifetime example, your usual examples of microcontroller?
Sir, oven, washing machine.
Yeah, very good. So these are some of the examples. I can tell if you are using computer, keyboard is also a microprocessor, monitor is also a microprocessor, printer is also a microprocessor. Then the most important feature of this microcontroller is a fax machine, right? That is one of the best example. Then telephone systems. These are some of the usual examples of microcontroller. Then, as your friend told, microwave ovens are the best examples of microcontrollers. Washers, dryers, washing machines, everything. What are the electronic devices we'll be using in our day-to-day life are some of the examples of or applications of microprocessors. Then, coming on to embedded systems. These microcontroller as well as embedded systems are the two different parts. It is not combined to tell. But if you want to define microprocessor or a microcontroller, their embedded system is a must to be specified there. So some examples of embedded systems, if you can tell, if you can note some examples, embedded system examples. No? Okay. Some of the examples, your MP3 players, your music players is one of the best example for embedded system. Your mobile phone is also an embedded system. Your DVD players. So what all these devices do? These devices basically consist of some hardware system. If you connect these devices with this software, then only that particular part will work. So that kind of systems are called as embedded system. So these are the keynote features you need to remember with respect to the microprocessor or microcontroller. Okay, so we'll start off with some of the instructions with respect to your microcontroller, that is an ARM microcontroller. There are some instructions which we need to pass to the program so that the execution of the commands is easier. There are some mnemonics which you want to remember with respect to that particular processor, that is ARM processor. I guess everyone know what is an ARM processor. I need not repeat this again and again so that it will just elaborate our time. That's it. So there is a first command. I'll just tell you some of the commands which you need to remember so that you will understand the programs. Okay, you need not remember all the mnemonics with respect to the instruction set. The first command will check out, that is ADC. It is a mnemonic given to that particular instruction. What does this ADC tells us? It basically adds two values and a carry to a particular instruction. That is adding of two 32-bit values and a carry. So this is the first instruction. Then add. This basically tells you are adding two values. Basically, as you all know, everything which happens in your processor or a controller is based on the registers, right? Register plays a very important role. So what is a register?
So temporary storage. a location which stores 1 bit of data.
Yeah, very good. It is a temporary storage. Basically, it handles only 1 bit of data. So, with respect to registers, as you know, we'll be performing any operations on registers itself. And the storage happens only in registers with respect to your microcontroller. So, the add operations, basically, it adds two values with respect to the registers. And operation, this is a logical operation happening here, which consists of both bitwise operations and with respect to 2-bit values, that is 232-bit values. Then similarly, some commands, CMP, this is comparison command used for comparing two 32-bit values. Then LDR, this is basically a loading command which is used to load a single value from a virtual address to that particular memory. So there is another command called as move, MOV. What happens if you are using this command in your program? It basically tells you move a 32-bit value into a register. There are a huge number of commands you need to remember, but for time being, you remember add and CMP, LDR, basically loading of the files or values, then MOV. These are some of the basic commands, or I can say instructions we have to remember with respect to your laboratory. Then simultaneously, we have huge number of instruction sets we'll be studying in upcoming laboratories, because for time being, I should start up with the first program. So I am just brushing up your knowledge on the instruction sets. Then in microcontrollers, if you are performing some coding part in microcontrollers, there are some instructions which are actually called as data preprocessing or data processing instructions. What are these data processing instructions? Data processing instructions are nothing but whatever the data you're giving as an input to your microcontroller should be processed. That is something, but it should be cleaned, or it should be in a way that the microcontroller should understand that particular data. So for this kind of data, we'll be using some instructions. So what are those instructions which are basically used to manipulate the data with respect to registers? Do remember, register plays an important role in throughout your MES laboratory. Okay, so there are some data pre-processing instructions such as move instructions, which we saw, MOV, then arithmetic instructions, that is add, subtraction, multiplication, so on, logical instructions such as AND, OR, comparison instructions, as I told, CMP, then multi. So these are some of the most used data processing instructions which can process one of their operands using some shifter there. So there is something called as shifting with respect to the data. We'll check out what is the shifting as well. Then, as I told, there is some shifter used here that is called as barrel shifter. If you are using that particular shifter suffix as yes on the data with respect to some instruction, then it will update a flag with respect to this command, that is CPSR. Then simultaneously move as well as comparison operation is being performed with respect to the flag operator. What is a flag? Flag is nothing but a temporary variable which is used to store some value, that is a resultant value with respect to it. So just remember what shifting does. It basically adds a suffix or uses a suffix so that it can update the flag variable. Then, as I told, these are the explanations of the instructions. The first is move instruction. It is the simplest ARM instruction. The examples as well as syntax of move instruction is MOV, which basically moves a 32-bit value into a register. Then another command called as MVN, which is basically performs move operation with respect to the NOT operation of 32-bit value with respect to some registers. Then the example of move with respect to your microcontroller is if you are performing move operation in the pre statement as well as post statement, what happens? I'm giving values for the registers in this way, and I will be moving the value of R5 with respect to R7. So if you are doing it in the pre-example, or I can say if in the prior state, this will happen. If you are doing in the post state, this will happen. The values of both the register will be same. finally. That is, you are placing R5 value into R7 value. Now, what will be the condition? Both the values of R5 as well as R7 will be equal. That is 5. Then there is some condition with respect to addition instruction with respect to your embedded systems. That is, when it is an equality condition, in this case, the condition appears at that time. You need to use the condition command called as MOV-EQ, which basically tells both the registers have the same value. Then this is an example of your code. So this is, I can tell this is the format of your code as well. This is the starting of your code. That is the program. Whatever program you implement, the starting line should be this. I can tell this as a preprocessor directive as well, where you are just naming that particular code there. So I'll be defining what is this first line. Basically, the area which is being defined in the first line, it is an assembler directive. As in the C program, we have preprocessor directive. Similarly, we have assembler directive in microcontrollers or microprocessors. The first word, that is area, basically this part, the area part, it instructs the assembler to assemble a new code or data. That is nothing but it's specifying the command prompt, that is a new code is been implemented. And then this line, that is move one, as we are studying the instruction set move. So this is basically the file name you are giving here. It might be any, it is not related to the code, it might be any name, the file name. Okay. Then comma space code. What does this code specify is, it is nothing but machine level instructions given to your program. That is, this might be code or data. That is, you are instructing the machine to perform some operation. Then if you are using code, it is temporary, not temporary, I can tell. If you're using the command code in this line, it is automatically a read-only command comes here. Automatically, the read-only command should be given. If code is used, it is read-only. If another data is used, I can give it as write-only as well. So this is the first line of your code, where the area specifies a new code is being implemented and instructs the assembler to assemble new code or data. What does the second word indicates? There is a space in between these, students, to remember. This basically tells the file name. What is code here? This basically tells you are giving instructions to your machine. What kind of instruction? It might be read only or write only. If you are specifying code, it should be read only compulsorily. If you are giving data instead of code, it might be any kind of instruction giving to that machine. So this is the first line of your code. Then you have to press and enter. Then you should start writing your code. How to write the code? Every code, your MES laboratory code starts with this line followed by start. Or before this, there might be a word called as entry as well, which basically tells starting of your program. But I have not used entry in this program. It is an optional to yours. Start basically tells you are starting the program. Now I have to perform move operations, right? So once you give start here, you will press enter, leave one line, and then again give enter and a tab space, and then you'll write the command called move or not #5. What does this line tells is you are just assigning the value 5 for the register or not. Again, this line comes. You are just, this lines basically tell you are assigning the number 6, the value 6 for the register R1. Now, what happens with respect to this command subs is it is basically subtraction of 5 with respect to similar registers or not, and assigning the value with respect to 4. Then what happens? What is this command tells? Move EQ. It basically tells both the values of R1 as well as R2 is equated to 0. Now, the value of R3, whatever the values we got with respect to R1 and R2, now I have to assign the value 10 with respect to R3. Now, the register R1 and R2 has the value 0 and the R3 value has 10. I'm just assigning values to the registers with respect to this program. Then the last code, that is back, feedback, as well as end. These two commands or the instructions are basically indicating that the it is basically indicating the end of the program, end of your code. So this is the basic simple example of writing your code as well as how to use move instructions. Hope this is clear to everyone. Students, I guess I'm audible. Hope this is clear to everybody. Is the code clear, or you have any doubt in the code? Are you people listening or not? Just
Yes,
tell. Yeah, you have any doubts regarding the code? No. Okay. Yeah. Is this the case in every class? You people won't answer only. So what should the teacher understand that if the student is understanding or not? Okay, fine. I'll just move. If you have any doubts at any stage, please do stop me. Then there is another example with respect to the move instruction, that is move S, with respect to different registers, where we will be using some destination registers as well with respect to some flags, which basically tells both the registers have the same values. Then the another example with respect to move instruction set. Then, as I told, we have something called as barrel shifter. So what is this barrel shifter? Barrel shifter is nothing but it basically uses one operation with respect to different registers. That is, check out with respect to arithmetic logic unit, we have three number of registers which are being connected to it. The input for ALU is the two registers, and the input will be stored in the another register. No, there is no pre-processing of data is done. The data, raw data is being processed to the ALU. Then, if you are using barrel shifter with respect to some register, in this barrel shifter, what happens is pre-processing of the data is being done and then passed to the arithmetic logic unit, so that you will get an data which is processed and then it is being shifted and stored in a resultant register called as RD. So this is how barrel shifter works. That is basically this barrel shifter is used to process the data. Then there are some features which are being mentioned with respect to that barrel shifter. One of the example with respect to barrel shifter, where the data with respect to different register is being stored, and then the post evaluation of that particular data is being done, where R7 value, where R7 is given with respect to R5 into 4, R5 into 4, R5 is 5. If you multiply 5 by 4, what is the value you get? 20. So that data is being stored in the register R7 there. Then, so these are some of the operation with respect to barrel shifter, that is LSL, LSR, ROR, RRX. So these are the functionalities of that. So these are the shifting areas with respect to each operation. Then this is how the shifting happens here. Basically, do remember the barrel shifter output is just an hexadecimal value with respect to the output conditions by using some flags there. Then in barrel shifter, we have left shift as well as right shift. What happens in left shift is it basically multiplies the powers of 2 with respect to the data. Coming on to the right shift, it basically shifts right by specified amount by dividing the powers of 2. In barrel shift, if the condition is left shift, it is multiplying, or if it is right shift, it is dividing. So these are some of the instructions you need to remember. There are arithmetic operations as well, as I told, with respect to shifting operations. There are huge number of applications as well as examples given with respect to move operation. Then we'll see some arithmetic instructions. For time being, we'll be using add and subtract. Add is used to add two 32-bit values. Subtract is used to subtract two 32-bit values. I'm just hurrying up this because you have already studied this in your theory part as well, right? Have you studied these instruction sets?
yes, sir.
Yeah, it is just a brush up for you all, okay? So that you will have a clear idea while performing your laboratory, okay? Then some examples related to that. Simultaneously, I have included many examples with respect to that. Whenever we want, we will just see the slides and then we'll execute the programs. Okay. So I'll stop sharing this PPT. I'll just minimize it. So coming on to your software part. Yeah, just a second. Yeah, coming on to your software part. Do remember, students, we will be using one software called as Keil software. Just a second. Yeah, do note down the spelling Keil, Keil, microversion, microversion 4. Okay, so this is your software. What is the software name? Keil microversion 4. So what is the version? Version 4.74. So this is the version we'll be using throughout your MES laboratory. So what is the software name? Software name is Keil Micro version 4. The version with respect to which we'll be working is 4.74. So have you all noted down the software name? Yes, I guess. Yeah, do note it. Keil Micro version 4, version 4.74. So this is the software we'll be using. So now, how to install this particular software? We'll check out how to install it. I guess my screen is visible to everyone. Yes, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So how to install? I'll just directly provide you the link. KEIL. Okay, yeah, this is the link. Do note it down. keil.com/demo, DEMO, /eval, EVAL, /ARM version 4, that is B4, .htm, #, download in capital letter. Have you all noted down? Do note it down. I'm giving a few seconds. keil.com/demo/eval/armv4.htm #, download in the capital letter. Hope everyone has noted it down. Yeah. If you browse this and give an enter, so this will directly take you to the page of the version with respect to 4.74. So this is the screen you will get when you type that link. Hope everyone has noted the link. Please don't do mistake in the link. This link you won't get if you browse directly. So I have taken this link, I have searched this link, and I have got you the link directly. So do note the link properly. Then you can check out it is an ARM processor with respect to MDK, that is microcontroller development kit. It is basically using the version 4.74. Once you give the link like that and give enter, you will get this particular screen. In this screen, you need to give your details. In the details, I have given my details. During that, you have to give your details and then give an enter there. I have given the first name, last name, my email ID, that is college email ID, company, you can give it as college name as well. Job title, I have given as assistant professor. Select the country. Yeah, I have selected the country. Please don't check out any of the boxes and give submit here. Yeah, once you give submit by entering all the details, you will get an exe file which is of some size here. This is an exe file which you get. So if you click on this exe file, the file will get downloaded automatically. Okay, it will take some time to load the file and recheck your data. Then it will download automatically. Okay, if you just click on this, it will download. Once you download this exe file, please go to the file where it is downloaded, right click on it and run the file, execute, install all the packages. Okay, whatever the data which it is been asking, just keep on giving yes. It will actually ask you for details also in the starting of it. So enter your details and install the whole exe file. Once you have installed the whole exe file, it takes huge time, students. So I have installed already in my system, and then I'm showing it to you. Once it is been installed, you will get an screen. In the screen, you will get this icon called as Micro 4. That is Keel Micro version 4. Okay. Once the installation is completed successfully, you will get this icon called Keel Micro version 4. Hope everyone is with me till here. Hope you are hope you have no doubts, like you are clear till here, no, like installing, how to install the file.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, once you install, you will get this icon. Just double click on this icon, then the software starts loading and it will open its screen. So we'll wait for it. Okay. There was some I had some programs executed, so it was showing that. So once you double click onto the software, hope the screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Once you get this screen, the first step you need to do is you have to create a project. Okay. First, you have to create a project. Then you have to set a target for that particular project, and then create a file. Write your program in that particular file, and then you have to execute it. There is some procedure with respect to the software. Do concentrate. Please don't confuse yourself. Do concentrate the with respect to the demo. Do concentrate the demo. So as I told, first you have to create the project. There is some panel here. Check out where is project. There is a project in the fourth option. Click on the project. Check out the first option here, new microvision project. Click on it. So now a pop-up will come with respect to asking for the destination, that is location where you have to create a project. It is up to you, students. You have to create at any. But check out, I have created this in desktop. While going on to desktop, I have created a new folder called try. This as a try. I will use this folder where I will be creating that project. This depends on you where you will create that particular project. Do remember, wherever you create the project, the file also should be saved in that. As I have saved it in try, you are saving that project in try. The file should also be saved in try only. Okay. So I'll give the file name as, I'll give it as SYEDD. Okay. I'll give my name, the project name as Syed. But there is no extension for this project. Okay. Do remember, you should not give any extension. This will be same. It will automatically taken as project files, that is .uv project. I will give save. Now my project is being created, and again now it will ask for your target. Now according to your syllabus, what is the processor we are using? Have you gone through your laboratory syllabus? Do you remember? We have a microcontroller name LPC2148, right? Okay, I guess you have not gone through the syllabus. In the syllabus, they have clearly mentioned you should use this tool for your software. So once your installation is successfully done, these all libraries will be automatically installed in your software. So once you save the project, once you click on the save button, this pop-up will occur. This pop-up will ask you to which target you have to save. That is, you should type the project, controller name as LPC2148. Do remember this, LPC2148. Once you search in this search box, you will get this. Click on this. You can see the description of LPC2148. Once you click on this, give as OK. Now the target is also set there, and it will ask for some setup with respect to startup.ts. This we are not using with respect to the software. We will be using this with respect to the hardware part. So I will be giving it as no here. Check out the changes here. There is a target created here. Okay. This is called creating a target. So now the project is successfully created. If you get this particular option here, the target, the project is created. Once you have created the project, what is the next step? We have to create a new file. Go to File, give as New. Okay, now the option, the panel changes here. You are getting a screen here where you can type your program. I will move on to the first program. Okay, just a second. I have typed the program already and kept it. So I'm just copy pasting the program. Copy. I will go to the software again. I will paste the program. Okay. Now the program is typed here. So I will start explaining you the program now. Check out. As we know, what is the first line of your program? It is a preprocessor directive with respect to your MES program. Similar to C program, it is consisting of directive. I can call it as an assembler directive. The area specifies the assembler directive, which basically instructs the assembler to assemble a new data or new code. So check out here. What is your first program? What is the first program specifies? I have not shared you the manual. I will share you the manual as well. The first program specifies write a program to multiply two 16-bit binary numbers. That is nothing but if you give the values as 3 as well as 2 for the register, it should return you 6 as your output. In the first program, they are telling you to multiply two 16-bit integer numbers. So this is, I have saved the file name as multiply. Then again, what is this code represents? It basically tells you the machine instruction you are giving to the machine. And then if you are using code, you should use read only itself. Then I will tell start with the program that with respect to a command called as instruction set called as entry, which basically tells execution of the program starts from here, that is entry. Then start tells you the starting of the program. Then as I told, if you want to perform any operation, everything will be stored in the registers. So in the first register, I'll be storing this value called as 6400. In the second register, I'm storing the value as 3200. In your C program, how you will store the values? You will be defining some variables, right? Such as A is equals to so and so, B is equals to so and so. Then you will tell add is equals to A plus B, which is being stored in add. Similarly, I'll be using this functionality called perform multiplication on R1 as well as R2 and then store the resultant in R3. So this is how this instruction set tells. That is, I am multiplying R1 and R2 values and storing the multiplied value into R3. Once this is done, I will come out of the program by specifying back, be back, and end, with respect to which the program is compiled successfully or ended successfully. So this is your first program. I have typed the program in the given what I can say, a given window. Now what happens in your C program also? Once you have typed the program, you have to save the program, right? For that, I'll give here. Check out here. There is a save option. Give save. While giving the save option, check out the name, the location with respect to which I had created the project in try only. The file name should also be saved. The program should be also saved in this particular location, that is try only. Okay, so I will give some name. I will name it as A, B, or I will give as program 1. Check out the file name, students. I should give .asm. What does this tell? .asm basically tells this is an what? Assembly level language is being written in the particular code. Do remember, while you are creating a project, there is no extension. While you are creating a program with respect to some file, there should be extension and the location should be the same. After this, I will give check out. This is automatically saved. That is all files. I should give save here. Once I give save, check out the program's color, right? there are some instructions, right? With respect to these instructions, the color changes. Yes. And then the values also, the color of this values as well as registers also changes. That means you have saved the program successfully. Okay. Now the program is saved. Now I have to set the target once again. So to set the target, check out this line here, the icon created here. There is an icon called plus created here, which tells you source group 1. Now, with respect to this, I should right click on this particular source group so that I will add this particular program into the source group. Right click on the source group, give as add existing files to group source group 1. I'll give this. Now check out, they have already given the location called as lookin try, but I'm not getting the file name. So what is the error there happening? Because check out the files of type, because I have saved it as .asm, right? So I should check this and give asm source files. You can check out, you have got the first program here, program1.asm. Click on it, give add, and then give close. Okay. Now check out in the source group 1. Check out, the program is already set into the source group 1. Once you are done with this, your totally adding of files with respect to the target is completely done. After this, you should build the program, that is run the program. For building the program, check out, there is one command here, that is build command, or you can give F7 as well. Try giving in the software, give it as build. Here, check out, the program is running and we have no errors with respect to program. I will give one error here. I am not giving tab space there. I have wantedly done this. I'll give save again, then I'll run it. Check out, students, there are 2 errors now. You won't get to know what error is happening there. So the spacing is very important in the program. Check out, there are 2 errors. Once I give tab here, there is no errors now. I will save it again. I will rebuild the program. You can check, there are no errors.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will save it again so that there is no discrepancy happening with it. I'll then again build it. We'll check here, there are no errors and no warnings as well. Now I have to run the program. How to run the program? Go to the option debug, start or stop debug session. The first option here, start or stop debug session. Once you give this, it will ask you a prompt that which basically specifies the amount of memory it is taking. You just give OK. Check out, there is an output screen visible here. What is this output screen tells you is, it is just listing the registers, the number of registers loaded in the program. Okay. Once you get the registers here, again go to debug, give run. Okay. Once you give this run, again go to debug, give stop. Okay, so check out here, this is the output of your program. R1 value, that is 6400, is stored in the hexadecimal value here. With respect to R2 3200, it is stored in hexadecimal. The value of the multiplication of both is stored in R3. This is the hexadecimal value of this multiplication number. So this is the output of your program. So check out, to be simpler, I will just give 3 and then I'll just give as 2 for your understanding. Again, I will save. Before saving, I should stop the debug session. I have stopped the debug session. I have changed the values. I'll give save. I'll give build. There are no errors. Debug. Start or stop debug session. I'll give OK. Now you have got the list of registers here. Again, go to debug, give run. Once you give run, the running process is happening. While the process is happening, I should stop the process. Now check out, the register value 3, R1 is stored here. The register value 2, R2 is stored here. That is 2 is stored here. Multiplication of both the registers R1 and R2. 3 and 2 is being stored in register R3, that is 6. What is the multiplication of 3 and 2? 6 only, right? So the resultant register 3 consists of the value 6.